Good evening. This is a special meeting of the Finance Committee. Today is Monday, September 8th, 2025, and it's 6:01 p.m. In attendance, I'm Jennifer Perez, Committee Chair, Maritza Estremera Jimenez, Committee Member, and Willie Medina is online. We also have board members Albert Benahan, Joseph Sakalovic. That's all. The first item on the agenda is referral to the full board approval of the reallocation of grant funds to support a special education corrective action plan position for community specialists for learner engagement and attendance. And Ms. McKinley, go ahead.
Good evening. I am coming to you this evening to request to take before the full board approval to establish the Community Specialist for Learning Engagement and Attendance position. This is authorized to seek authorization to allocate IDEA funds for salary and program implementation of this position, and for support for integrating this position into the district's corrective action plan. As we all know, chronic absenteeism among students with disabilities is disproportionately high and directly impacts academic progress, IEP goal attainment, and long-term outcomes. Basically, if students are not in school, they cannot learn. The district's corrective action plan requires targeted interventions to reduce absenteeism, especially among our most vulnerable population, our students with disabilities. This position aligns with the IDEA mandate to ensure access to free, appropriate public education and address barriers to attendance. This position is somewhat modeled after our current LEAP positions, but it will exclusively be focused on students with IEPs. Year one will address BLC and the Transition Academy, where currently there are not LEAP coordinators assigned to these programs. And as I stated, we currently have a corrective action plan item with the state to address chronic absenteeism. And as a part of that corrective action, you have to use IDEA funds to address how you're going to move forward with addressing chronic absenteeism. And that's why we're going to use the IDEA funds for this position. The expected outcomes is improved attendance rates among those students with disabilities who are currently at BLC and our Transition Academy, who are on the rolls but are not attending. Increased IEP engagement and services, better collaboration between families, schools, and support agencies, and to actually use the data to eventually expand into our other schools where we're showing a high percentage of chronic absenteeism.
Thank you. Dr. Avery?
Can you speak to the point of the corrective action plan? Why does the state provide corrective action plans for districts in different areas? And explain the area that our district has been in. Is this corrective action plan recent, or is this a corrective action plan that's been ongoing for the last couple of years?
So currently, the corrective action plan that we currently have in place is current. But there are some items on the corrective action plan that have been longstanding. For instance, timely correction of noncompliance refers back to a systemic complaint from 2021-22. Also on the corrective action plan, suspension and expulsion rates for students with disabilities, which has also been an ongoing concern. And then the chronic absenteeism for students with IEPs is also another area on the corrective action plan. So it's those three areas that we have to address.
Thank you. I'll take questions from the committee members. Mr. Medina?
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. I was trying to get my hand raised before, but I couldn't get it. So I apologize on my absence. Do we have and I've always asked this question. Do we have the community specialist for learner engagement and attendance? Kind of like their role, what would they be doing, like their duties?
Yes, sir, there is a job description.
Thank you, that's what word I was looking for, I apologize. So there is a job description. Are we gonna be able to have that well, actually, the board meeting is tonight. Do we have that available now? Because I don't see it in our portal.
We have it.
Yes, if it's approved to move to the full board, yes, you will have it, if you
Okay,
don't already.
I'm sorry, I heard somebody say we have it.
We have it here in the meeting in person. And it's on board book.
Okay, thank you. What is the allocation of funds? How much funds are we looking to allocate for this position?
So right now, the range that we're looking at is between 60 to 70,000, and it's coming out of IDEA funds.
Okay, that's all for now, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Estromero Jimenez.
I also have financial related questions. So this is coming from IDEA. I'm assuming that's a grant. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Are we taking anything off the table in order to provide these services? Or did we have the funding already available in order to have this role?
The funding is already available, and because it is a part of the corrective action, we would still have to amend our budget to show that we are using a part of our IDEA funds to address the chronic absenteeism.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Sakala.
Excuse me. Yes, thank you. Please be represented or not represented employees,
I'm sorry,
represented or not represented.
represented.
Which bargaining unit?
It's right now a non-union affiliated position.
But if it was going to be a represented employee, wouldn't the contract terms guide the compensation value package?
Yes, if it's going to be a union represented position, it is governed by the actual approval of the union for the position and salary.
And you mentioned $60,000 to $70,000 a year, and it seems like some astronomical responsibilities for people to have. Yet the minimum training and experience is a high school diploma, associate or bachelor degree preferred. Experience working in urban education setting and knowledge of truancy and attendance laws. Seems kind of very, very low bar to set for somebody in an education system. Now, when I've seen this before in other cases, not to cast shade on anybody here, it's been targeted for somebody with these qualifications to get the position, and casting a wider net and asking for more experience, especially if something like this with the state watching us, if we're going to correct something that the professionals so-called have been getting wrong for all this time, we should have somebody with at least a minimum of a master's degree, I think.
And just in speaking, so I currently just finished coursework where it specifically talked about improving literacy while decreasing your chronic absenteeism. And the research that's out there is basically, it's about family engagement. It's getting to the root cause of why students are not coming to school. So currently at BLC and at Transition Academy, we know these were students that were specifically targeted to go to these specific campuses and programs. So one of the things that we're looking at is whomever to be able to establish working relationships and partnerships with parents, to understand the community, to know resources and outreach abilities for the parents, to be able to make that connection with students, to be able to engage with them to learn why they are not coming to school. And you can have a degree or you don't necessarily have to have a degree in order to do that. It's about relationships and partnerships with our parents and with our students. Because without getting to the root cause and really being able to work with them, then really and truly is going to be a moot point in trying to improve our chronic absenteeism, because we have to listen to students. We have to listen to our parents as to what are the barriers to keep them from not coming to school.
Understood. It's me a strange, just because, what's the starting salary of a first-year teacher? Is it even at $60,000 a year? No, less than that, and that requires a bachelor's to a master's degree and years experience to get certified for the position. So I don't,
And-
it's just,
And that's something that we can go back and look at. I don't have a problem with that.
it's just, yeah, and that, can you tell me what the Transition Academy is? I've heard it bandied about a couple of times, and I'm not quite sure.
So the Transition Academy is for our students who have completed all of their graduation requirements, but still need specific instruction, goals and objectives for post-secondary employability skills. So it's for those students that are basically 18 to 22 who still need special education support in regards to becoming employable, or who aren't quite there as far as even the employability skills, but we're still providing services for them.
And they're located throughout the district, not one particular.
So the Transition Academy is located at Central High School. It's not technically a part of Central because it is a program where the students have completed all of their graduation requirements.
And what's the total universe of students that will be served?
I'm sorry.
The total number of students that will be served?
The last count, I believe it was about 40 students, but we have about 20 of those students that are attending. Were you talking, I'm sorry, were you speaking of the Transition Academy or total?
Combined with BLC and the transition.
So on BLC roster, I want to say that there's 50 to 60 students, and I can get you that exact number. And the last count was that they were at 60% chronic absenteeism.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Sorry, I want to acknowledge Mr. Travers in the meeting and Mr. Woodson. Do you have any questions for Ms. McKinley?
Yes, I'm not seeing the salary data that y'all are referring to in the information we have, so
It's not on the sheet, but it is. I had spoken to Mr. Nekwa today, Nestor, and we came up with the range between 60 and 70, but based on Mr. Sokolovic's input, we're going to go back and revisit that.
is there anything else that's not on here? Okay. Thank you. That's it for now.
I have a follow-up question. The job description says it's a 10-month position, but we've been having chronic absenteeism for quite some time. What's gonna happen after the 10 months? My concern is that we're providing resources to get students back into the schools, and then after 10 months, does this position go away? They got laid off, and if that's the case, then we're gonna see our numbers come up. So what's the long-term plan for this role?
And with that 10-month, it would be versus a 12-month, meaning this person, they would still come back, but it would be that they would work 10 months, not necessarily work the summer. But also in rethinking this, sometimes we can catch students and develop a plan for them to return during the summer months as well.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mr. Tabor?
Okay, so I heard the question a moment ago. If I understood correctly, this is a non-bargaining unit position, a non-certified position? Is that correct?
It doesn't have to be certified. Am I correct, Michelle?
I'm sorry,
Certification?
they do not have to have certification.
And it's non-bargaining unit.
It
Wow.
is a non-union affiliated position, yes. At
Why?
this time.
But but what she said that she was going to consider adding that as but she has to go back to the union to add that to a union position. So if it's a union position, then it's going to be, the salary will be included in the position that they want to use in their bargaining. So we would have to follow their salary schedule and add that to the job description as a union affiliated position. That also includes the salary that will go along with it as well. But I think her task was to be able to get permission for position. That's why she's coming to the finance committee for that option. In between, if the board is allowing her to do it, based on the conversation this evening, she'll go back and tweak it and provide that recommendation to the board, the full board, for consideration.
You have a follow-up?
No, I have a curiosity. I apologize. I'm not up to date on exactly what this is, and I'm not going to vote on it tonight anyway, so I'm not. But I'm sort of trying to get my head wrapped around. We used to have positions that were trying to deal with chronic absenteeism. We had people employed. We would have called them truancy officers in the past. Who were running around the city trying to figure out what was going on. And, they've disappeared, I guess. I don't know what happened to them. I remember running into them around the city as I drove around the city. But this is obviously different, and I understand how it's different and what you're trying to do with it. But I also am trying to understand the difference and what we're trying to do with it. And so I'm just beginning.
Similar position, but it's targeted to the corrective action plan that the district is under right now. The state has to approve it.
Yes.
The board has to approve it, then the state's gonna have to approve it as well in order to make sure that we're in compliance with the corrective action plan. And so that's the procedure. That report back to the state is due on the 17th of September. And we will have to come back to, if the committee refers it to the full board, we would have to come back to a special call meeting before the 17th to get it approved for the entire board. So that's kind of where we are. We may not be able to do it tonight unless you guys do. I think there's an option to add it to the agenda for tonight, but we don't have, it's not fully vetted well enough for you guys to vote as a full board on it. So that's kind of where we are. It's basically just need the referral to the full board, and then we can work with Madam Chair to decide on for that one item to come back to the full board for consideration.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair.
Any further question? Is there a referral for this to the full board? Is there a motion to refer it?
Motion to refer to the full board for approval of the reallocation of grant funds to support a special education corrective action plan position, community specialist for learner engagement and attendance.
I'll second that motion. Any further debate on that from committee members?
I would just like to say that I will be voting no to move it forward because I think we need more information and more data on what we're doing and why we need this position in our district. I think this is a little bit moving too quickly for me personally, and also for our district. We need to have more, make more responsible decisions, not withstanding of the finances and finding out more details. So I'm definitely going to be voting no because I need more information. So that'll be all for me. Thank you.
Any further debate? Seeing none, all in favor to move it to the full board, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Yes, I oppose
You're opposed.
for the reasons I stated before.
All right, so it's gonna move forward to the full board. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Finance committee adjourns at 6:20. Thank you.